Almost all world religions reject the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations. And at the same time, they confirm the fact that these civilizations do exist somewhere in the depths of space. But alien visitors in any religion are not aliens at all, but gods or messengers of gods. This approach can be interpreted in different ways, but at the time of the birth of all major religions of the world without exception, the level of science was so primitive that it was simply unrealistic to explain the presence of cosmic intelligence with the help of scientific knowledge. Therefore, we can safely assume that all representatives of extraterrestrial intelligence, who may have visited our planet in ancient times, were automatically assigned the status of gods by our ancestors. And our story is precisely from this category. So, in 1938, an expedition of archaeologists led by Chinese explorer Chi Pu Ti discovered a number of caves in the Bayan Karaula Mountains on the border of Tibet and China. After studying them, the scientists found 716 round stone discs dating back 12,000 years, which turned out to be ancient tombs and contained the remains of mysterious skeletons. These skeletons were bizarre. Their length did not exceed 1 meter and 30 centimeters, and they had very unusual skulls. Chi Pu Ti and his team found several caves nearby with rock paintings of creatures in large helmets. These creatures were painted against the background of images of the sun, moon, stars and the earth. They then found a collection of 716 round stone discs with tiny hieroglyphic signs inscribed on them. Some of the discs were partially under the cave floor. Some sources say that the discs had completely inexplicable properties. They were found to emit strange vibrations. Tay brought the stone discs to Beijing University, where they were kept for the next 2 decades, until in 1958, a professor named Tsum Nui began to study them closely. After 4 years of research, Nui claimed that the stones were at least 12,000 years old and that the hieroglyphs contained information about their origin. Professor Nui claimed that the hieroglyphs described the history of an alien civilization called Dropa that arrived from another planet in a spaceship but had to make an emergency landing in the cave area. One of the discs allegedly contained the following text: "The Dropa descended from the clouds. Our men, women and children hid in the caves 10 times until sunrise." When we finally understood the Dropa sign language, we realized that the aliens had peaceful intentions. The Dropa were unable to leave the planet and simply died, but they established friendly relations with the local Kam tribe and helped each other survive. According to the description, the aliens were indeed small, had little body hair, and their main feature was blue eyes, which are not found in Asian people. In 1962, Professor Nui was going to publish the results of his work, but the publication of the decoding results was prohibited by order of the Beijing Academy of Sciences. After such a sensational statement, no one believed the professor. He was unable to prove his case, emigrated to Japan and died in 1964 under unclear circumstances. The word Dropa itself actually exists. According to the Gould-Parkinson transliteration system, Dropka in Tibetan means solitude, isolated, or pasture dweller. This word is used by some groups of nomadic inhabitants of the Tibetan plateau, but their appearance today has nothing to do with the alleged appearance of aliens from outer space. Austrian engineer Ernst Wiegerer visited the Banpo Museum in 1974, where he saw 2 Dropa stones. In late 1995, the Associated Press reported that an unknown tribe of 120 people had been discovered in China's Sichuan province, which borders Tibet. The most noticeable feature of the tribe is their extremely small stature. Some people believe that they were descendants of the Dropa people. However, in 1997, Chinese ethnologists announced the effect of high mercury concentrations in the water of local springs as the cause of the unusual appearance of the people of this tribe. Although the whole story was reprinted and published in various magazines throughout the 1960s, no physical evidence of the existence of the Dropa people has ever been made public. There is no record of the artifacts ever being displayed in any museum. And the last scientists who looked for them in 1994 said that the disks had been destroyed. The few existing photographs of the stones were taken by Ernst Wiegerer in 1974. But they seem to depict ordinary round jade disks that archaeologists often find in Shaanxi province. The lack of evidence and no records of either the Chi-Pu Tea expedition or the existence of Tsum Nui has led most archaeologists to believe that the Dropa stones are nothing more than a hoax. But is this really true? Yes, the legendary Dropa tribe has long since disappeared, but according to the records of Tibetan monks, it is likely that the last of its representatives still lives somewhere in the remote mountainous regions of China. And the rest of our story may disprove the claims of a hoax. In 1978, David Agumon, secretary to Oxford University ethnology professor Carol Robin Evans, published a book based on his boss's notes, Solar Deities in Exile, in which he described a journey through the mountains of Tibet and an encounter with the Dropa tribe. The tribe considered themselves to be descendants of aliens, and their leader showed Evans a disk with an image of a spiral solar system, which the tribe kept as a relic. Another intriguing discovery was made by Polish professor Sergei Lolodov in India. Shortly after the end of World War II in 1945, Lolodov bought a disk found in Nepal in Uttarakhand, India, which belonged to the Dropa tribe. He showed the disk to Robin Evans, who had spent a lot of time in Tibet, learned their language, and was able to piece together the history of the disk. The Dropa stone dish is about 12,000 years old. So Evans claimed. The stone disk was flat, with an image of the sun in the center, from which two spiral arms emerge, ending at the edge. The disk has images above the spirals. The most striking is the naked image of a humanoid with arms and legs located symmetrically from the central axis of the body and a large bald head. To the left of the humanoid are two objects similar to spiders with round heads and 8 winding legs. After them is an image of a reptile resembling a dragon in profile. To the right of the humanoid is a row of symbols in 2 rows, followed by an object in the form of an eye, followed by 4 more symbols and again a profile of an animal with a tail. All these images are applied to one of the arms of the spiral, the other is completely empty. All existing copies of the images of the disc were made from one of the photographs in the book based on Robin Evans's notes. According to one source, the disc was allegedly kept in a museum in the former East Berlin, so it is curious why there is no better image than these 2 that are currently available. What conclusions can be drawn from the analysis of the disc? According to Professor Robin Evans, the humanoid could have been a representative of the Dropa tribe. And the lens-shaped form resembles a UFO of the flying saucer type. The 2 images of animals have an unclear purpose. According to Robin Evans, who researched the history of the disc, and judging from his conversations with the leader of the tribe, Laganla, the Dropa tribe were short aliens or their descendants. The solar deities, as the ancients called the aliens, came from a planet in the Sirius star system. They visited our planet for informational purposes about 20,000 years ago and again in 1014. Something happened, and they were unable to return home after the second visit. The Dropa tribe disappeared long ago, but according to the records of Tibetan monks, they could have been descendants of the aliens. So Evans claimed. However, it later turned out that the star Sirius, where the Dropa allegedly came from, is a double star and scientists have not yet found a single exoplanet in its system. This does not necessarily mean that they do not exist, but there are a number of compelling reasons why, even if there are planets there, it is unlikely that there is life in the Sirius system at all. What do you think about this, dear viewers? Write your opinion in the comments.